Let me call to order this meeting of the CRA. The time is Monday, January 2024. I'm sorry, that's the date. The time is 4:30. The date is January 8th. Happy New Year, everyone, board members, to the public. I am going to reorder the agenda. I have a number of public comment cards here. We're going to move public comment to the end of the meeting to make sure that we get through the work that we have to do. Mr. Rugg, other than the reorganization of the agenda to move public comment to the end, are any other additions or deletions reorganization?
No, Mayor.
Okay. Board members, consent calendar. We have one item on consent, item 6.1. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move approval of consent calendar.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. Okay, item 7.1. I'm sorry, commissioners. I do need to see if you have any comments. I apologize for that. Madam President, any comments?
No, Mayor.
Commissioner Ward?
No, Mayor.
Commissioner Fox?
No comments, thank you.
And Commissioner Caduce?
No, Mayor.
My apologies. Okay, now we'll go to item 7.1, resolution number 24-1, authorizing the purchase of transfer development rights, TDRs, from KWA Properties LLC related to 1020-1028 North Tamarind Avenue and approving execution of a TDR purchase and sales agreement between the West Palm Beach Community Redevelopment Agency and KWA Properties LLC.
Are we getting on that TV or screen? No? Can you see it on yours?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Rob Traeger, the Real Estate Manager for the West Palm Beach CRA. So today we're going to go through an overview, sending sites, information, terms, and goals of this agreement, and summary and recommendation. So the sending sites for this TDR agreement are 1020 and 1028 North Tamarind. It's the Hamburger Haven site and the piece of property to the north of the Hamburger Haven site, totaling 13,125 square feet of transferable development rights. Some of the pictures, just when construction first started on the top there, and currently on the bottom, you can see the progress that's been made so far in this project. And then here are the renderings from the architect of what it's going to look like when it's completed. So some of the terms and the goals: 13,125 square feet of TDRs will be purchased, market rate of $17.50 a square foot for a total of $229,000 approximately. The goal is to sell these TDRs back to the private sector once the demand picks up. The CRA will hold these rights until then, until they are sold. The reason for the purchase is to assist KWA Properties LLC with their construction cost. They had a previous contract to sell these TDRs with the private sector, but that contract was canceled due to the fact that the TDR market has dried up for TDRs. So a recommendation is to approve Resolution 24-1, the TDR purchase and sale agreement between KWA Properties LLC and the CRA.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Thank you for the presentation. There are no questions. I will entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 24-1.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. Item 7.2, resolution number 24-2, authorizing the CRA to lease the property located at 608 23rd Street, Unit B, West Palm Beach, Florida 33407, to Shonda Bowler. Mr. Traeger?
Rob Traeger, Real Estate Manager for the CRA. So this is, we're just going to go through the site, location, some project timelines, project goals, lease information, the current tenants, and some of the requirements that they need to have to be a tenant in these buildings. So the site is on 23rd Street in Pleasant City. We own 8 units there in 2 different buildings, 608 and 610 23rd Street. Just to go over some of the project timelines, we began marketing November 8th, 2021. We sent out 5,500 approximate flyers to the North End districts. We received 35 applications to date. 21 are complete applications. Applicants are chosen on a first-come, first-qualified basis. Shonda Bowler was one of the initial respondents. Again, there's 8 units total in the building. 7 are currently rented, and the lease was approved by the CRAB board, just for your notes, on January 5th of last week, Friday. Some of the goals and the terms: Lot 23 housing provides an affordable housing project in a CRA district in Pleasant City at a low AMI level. Satisfies goal 2, which is to provide affordable housing of the strategic finance plan for the Pleasant City target area. All of them are 1-year leases, and they're at $850 a month. Just some of the updates for the tenants. These are the current tenants there, and so we have 1 vacancy as of now. And just to take a note of the FHFC multifamily chart here, as you can see in circle, based on the rent we're charging, which is $850 a month for a 2-bedroom unit, we're actually at about a 40% AMI limit or level, which is obviously affordable and low. Just some of the application requirements: they need to be working. They need to be over 18 years old, have a social security card or photo ID, proof of citizenship, no felonies, no evictions. So our recommendation is to approve Resolution 24-2, authorizing the CRA to lease property at 608 23rd Street, Unit B, to Shonda Bowler.
Quick question, how frequently do we check income? Is that every year?
No, just initially.
Just initially?
I mean,
Okay.
They're all, I keep up to date with them. I talk to them, the tenants, and they're all still
But
working.
these are year-long leases anyway, so presumably if she tries to renew the lease, then we'll do another income check, or?
I usually ask for their, just personally, not actual, but I can if you
No, I just wanted to make sure we
take their
were,
word for it, essentially. And they're all paying.
we might want to come up with different protocols if we're renewing the lease, just to make sure there hasn't been a change in the income to take them outside the eligibility. Any other questions, comments on this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I approve resolution number 24-2.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Hearing no opposition, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Now we will turn to public comment. We do have several cards. Now, does everyone here want to speak in the CRA meeting, which this is, or the City Commission meeting, which starts at 5? Does anyone want to speak in the City Commission meeting, which starts at 5, pursuant to these cards? All right, so all these cards here are for the CRA meeting. Okay, I'm going to call out your names. Madam City Attorney, can we limit it to 2 minutes?
With a unanimous vote of the board, you can lift the rules that currently allow for the 3 minutes and shorten the time so that all of your speakers have time, but it would require a unanimous vote of the board.
All right, Commissioners, we have 22 minutes left, and we have about 13 cards. So are you opposed to limiting public comment to 2 minutes so that we can get through this before we start the City Commission meeting? All right, I will
You need a
entertain
motion?
Yeah, please.
Mayor, I move that we reduce the time to 2 minutes for public comment due to time constraints.
I have a proposed amendment that you forego the rule currently in place under 2-31 to limit to 2 minutes rather than 3.
I move that we forego the rule that is currently in place, allowing for 3 minutes, and reduce it to 2 minutes due to time constraints.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and second. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, like sign. Okay, very good. I'm going to call out your names 3 at a time. If you start making your way toward the podium, you have 2 minutes. Beatrice Greenberg, Ira Jacobson, and Charles Wilner. Madam Clerk, please change that to 2 minutes.
I'm Beatrice Greenberg of Boynton Beach.
Hold on, let's get
Sorry.
to,
I'm sorry.
we gotta, okay. It doesn't go down? doesn't count down. Okay, we'll just started at 44. Okay, we'll just do 2 minutes. Now,
Gotta cut this
can you
down.
stop it? You can't stop it. Okay, there we are. There we go. That stop. Okay. Huh. Okay, you can start now, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I'm Beatrice Greenberg of Boynton Beach, the daughter of Rachel and Jonas Baragnak, Holocaust survivors from Kalishin, Poland, who survived the hell of the Nazis created in Germany and elsewhere in Europe by working in Siberian work camps. As a child of survivors, I didn't think anything like that could ever happen here. That was destroyed in my head at 7th grade when a person I thought was a friend of mine cursed out another student who came into class because his name sounded Jewish. I grew up in an entire community of Holocaust survivors, and it wasn't until I went to college that I learned that Jewish kids actually had grandparents. I would wonder what these grandparents and their friends did while my family was being killed in Europe. In light of the current events, I can't stay silent. I was silent in 7th grade when my friend made these anti-Semitic comments about another student, but I can no longer be silent. When presidents of our most prestigious universities say that context would be a determining factor on whether or not to discipline students who call for genocide of Jews, we know our educational system has failed us. I did not go to Harvard, Penn, or MIT, but I can't imagine any context that would allow for the calling of genocide of any people. Based on these hearings in which these university presidents made these ignorant statements, we should learn how much Holocaust education is needed from the top down. There are a few eyewitnesses, Holocaust survivors left to give living testimony to dispel the deniers. We must establish centers in Palm Beach County and around the world to educate current and future generations to combat hate of any kind, because never again must have meaning today and for the future generations so that we can see an end to anti-Semitism and hatred of
Thank
any
you very
kind.
much, ma'am. Thank you. Ira Jacobson.
Thank you for having me. Since the last time I've been in front of you, let's just go over what's happened in your county. We had a Hanukkah party at the beach. They built a sand menorah. Woke up the next morning, there was a swastika. I told you it was going to happen. In Broward County, there was a basketball game, the Jewish community basketball, and the girls' basketball team was cursed out saying, Hitler was right. I told you, this is only 2 months. You guys have a legacy that could help stop this. We can't, you can. Whenever human beings suffer and there's humiliation, it affects everybody. We need to take sides. If we don't take sides, we don't have a society. You could side with the victim or the oppressor. You know who said that? Elie Wiesel, when he got out of Auschwitz. We walk the streets of Palm Beach County in danger. The only way to stop this is education. Thank you, October 7th. I saw the beautiful letter you wrote to the newspaper that were against the murder, raping, beheading of children. It does nothing. It did nothing. What is it going to do? Nobody read it. The only way to stop children from being afraid to go to school, from religious people to wear their skull caps, or people to look us up because we have a last name, is changing. And the only way to change, nobody could do it but you. We're in this competition with the restaurant, a hamburger French fry place. Just what Palm Beach County needs is another hamburger French fry place.
Thank you very much. Charles Wilner.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. I'll be brief and quick. On the same sentiment, I believe that all the current events show us that education is key. A Holocaust Museum would help to educate people to understanding what the Holocaust truly was, how it affected the Jewish people, but how it could affect other people as well. Don't forget what happened in Kosovo in the 90s. These things can happen anywhere, all the time, to anybody. You've got to be aware, you've got to understand how these things work, and to educate children and educate parents. This is a way to do it. It's a safe way. It's the best way to do it. The ramifications of education go a long way, a lot longer than any vengeance or any other type of activity. So thank you much. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. I'm going to call out three other names: Carol Katz, Richard Miller, and Amy Miller. Carol Katz. You can start.
My name is Carol Katch. I live in North Palm Beach. I just moved down here from New York. I do have a son that graduated from Harvard. He is embarrassed to say that he graduated from Harvard. He did University of Pennsylvania as a summer school. He's embarrassed to say that. Why? I don't know. People see me wearing my Star of David and ask me, "Aren't you afraid to wear your Star of David?" Why should I be afraid? I really think that we do need a Holocaust museum to teach people not only not to be afraid of Jewish people, but to teach them what has happened in the past that should never happen again. That's it.
Thank you very much. Richard Miller.
We all know that we're living in perhaps the most divisive times.
State your name for the record, please,
Richard
sir.
Miller. We all know that we are living in perhaps one of the most divisive times in American history. Not only the most divisive, but easily the most ignorant. Our young people know nothing about the real world. They know nothing about the truth. They don't know what to believe anymore. 78 years after the worst genocide in American in human history, the word Holocaust has become cliched. You can't even use it anymore to explain anything, just like the word Nazi. And the only way to combat that is through education, and education needs visualization and presence. Not just written in a book, but it has to be seen and physically there, and there are presence of people walk by it and see that this edifice means something, and that inside there is an education that teaches people about tolerance, about what really happened in history, and about what the truth is.
Thank you very much. Amy Miller.
Thank you. My name is Amy Miller. Young Americans appear to be incredibly ignorant about one of modern history's greatest crimes. A recent poll by The Economist magazine found that 20% of respondents aged 18 to 29 think that the Holocaust is a myth, compared with 8% of those aged 30 to 44. Additionally, 30% of young Americans say they do not know whether the Holocaust is a myth. Do you think it matters whether 79 years later the world knows about the Holocaust or remembers the Holocaust? What do you think might be some of the consequences if people don't know about anything about it? Anti-Semitism is prejudice against or hatred of Jews. We have an opportunity right now to commit to building an institution that will combat anti-Semitism and promote peace and tolerance. A museum and educational center in the community will invite visitors, especially young people, to assess their knowledge about Holocaust and anti-Semitism and consider how to understand history, how understanding history can inspire and inform their efforts to bring about a more just world today. It has never been more important to teach this history. Bringing up this Holocaust Museum and Educational Center in West Palm Beach will be an invaluable resource for teachers, families, and the community organizations, and will show our commitment and faith in the next generation and this community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Three more names: Valentina Moshkovich, Victor Morgan, Melissa Berenson, and then Darren Studslow's the last card, so it's 4 names. All right, Valentina Moshkovich.
Hello, my name is Valentina Mashkevich, and I live in Boca Raton, Palm Beach County, but I'm here in the support for a monument and Holocaust Museum because I think it's very important to have something that people and especially children will see and understand what happened, what could happen, and should never happen. So I am definitely in support of this Holocaust Museum. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Victor Morgan.
My name is Victor Cogan. I live in Boca Raton, Florida, and everything I've heard so far is absolutely true. I'm in support of this museum and importance of education for our kids, and not only kids. Let's look at the truth that a lot of older people do not believe or do not know nothing about Holocaust, and this is terrible. The only thing I can add that I came from Soviet Union to this country 30 plus years ago, and I can tell you that I was born after World War II, but I never see my grandparents. All my grandparents were killed during World War II, and they were older people. They were not on the front lines. No, they were killed by Nazis just because. And my wife, who just talked, her father came from Poland. Entire family was wiped out. He only one that survived. So we know this not from the books or from museums, but this is very important that our kids and everybody who doesn't know would know, and this museum will help it immensely. Thank you.
Thank you. Melissa Berenson.
Hello, I'm Melissa Berenson. I'm from Jupiter, Florida. Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, thank you for allowing me to speak. It's good to see you again. Never again is now. We do it for many other groups and organizations here in Palm Beach County. How many Boys and Girls Clubs here are in Palm Beach County? 20. How many zoos? 20. How many public libraries? 17. How many art museums? 32. How many Holocaust museums or education centers are in Palm Beach County? 0. Palm Beach County, is, especially the city of West Palm Beach, we are the center here of the county. Our county government is here, you're here. We have the Norton Museum, we have the Mandel Library here in downtown West Palm Beach. I'm sure we have a Boys and Girls Club, we have the zoo, we have the Science Museum. There is no Holocaust or education center. And education is very, very important for all of us, not just as Jews, but as a multicultural society. This museum and education center would give us a common place to learn about human rights, to discuss the history of violation of these human rights, to discuss human rights today and what is going on today in our societies. Jews are not all white. Unfortunately, we have a representation of Jews here who are white, but we are Black, we are Hispanic, we are Arab. This is not an issue of race. It's not an issue of different groups. We are all affected by this. We are all affected by violence because what starts with the Jews never ends with the Jews. You allow marginalization of
Thank you
one,
very
you
much.
allow marginalization
Thank you very
of
much.
all.
Your time is up. Thank you. Darren Studstill.
Good afternoon. Happy New Year to all. I'm Darren Studstill, 401 North Rosemary. I just wanted to stop by real quick to say thank you to this board, the CR board, and especially Miss Ansley. We had a toy drive in December. The day we had scheduled, had some bad weather. I'm gonna use my football terms. We made some calls. Mayor, you stepped up. The CRA stepped up, and we was able to shift and pivot and move that event to the Salvation Army. We had the opportunity to give out close to 2,500 toys with almost 300 plus families. And when families come up to you and say, and look you in the face and say, I appreciate this because we didn't know what we were going to do, it's just very impactful. I serve as the president of the National Pan Atlantic. Served. I'm outgoing, but it was just a great ending to the end of my regime, and I just want to thank you to the CRA, to Ms. Ansley especially, and to this board for making that possible. It makes a world of difference in the Northwest. Real quick, since I'm running out of time, education is so important to me and to our neighborhoods and what we look like in the future. I also, with the National Pan Atlantic, we have and just started our ACT prep program over in the Northwest. We're going to need your support.